Welcome back to First Things First. Undisputed coming up at 9:30. Joy, I have a small idea of what you guys may touch upon during your show, but why don't you tell us specifically? How are you?
I'm great. Something pretty important coming up tonight I think you might be alluding to. Coming up on Undisputed, how many games will the Cavs win against the Warriors in the finals? And will Dak Prescott have a big year without a #1 receiver? Plus, actor Amari Hardwick from Power is in studio with us. Undisputed is coming up next. Jenna, back to you guys.
All right, Joy, we look forward to that. Thank you so much. It is time to go viral here on the show. So we all know that LeBron advanced to the finals by knocking off the Celtics in Game 7, but not everybody caught this. Check out Paul Pierce heckling the King.
Yeah. How'd that work out for you, Paul?
What do you think about this?
Cut to 45 minutes later where he was nearly sobbing on television describing what happened at the end of this game.
That's what I told you. LeBron mean-mugged him on the and one in the flagrant foul at the end. He was looking at Paul Pierce.
100%. You, after the game, you made the point, because I didn't notice that, and I didn't notice that he was mean-mugging Paul Pierce on the Markieff Morris flagrant foul that essentially ended the game. I thought he was just scowling at the crowd and he was beating his chest. You said he was going after Pierce.
Yes.
We now have an idea why.
Oh, yeah. You know he was sitting there strategically. LeBron gave it to him. No, it wasn't the first time.
Listen, Paul Pierce knows LeBron ended the Big Three run in Boston. Like, the greatest, the best moment, I'll give Pierce credit, the best individual performance of Paul Pierce's career came against a 22-year-old LeBron James, 23-year-old LeBron James, pardon me, in a Game 7 of the second round, the year the Celtics won their one and only title. But after that, LeBron just owned him. And so, come on.
Is that giving him the business?
Giving him the business?
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know.
People haven't said that in 20 years.
Really?
Okay, yes. We got to put him in a time machine.
John Havlicek stole the ball and gave him the business.
Forget it.
Danny Ainge gave folks the business.
Okay.
There you go.
Got it. Sticking with LeBron, I think I overtry. Cavs and Warriors tip off the finals tonight for the 4th straight year. While the bulk of the Warriors remain the same from years past, this Cavs team is clearly not as deep or talented as the last few. But Cleveland still has LeBron, and LeBron has proven he can win games single-handedly. Also, he kind of likes the challenge.
Listen, Golden State is one of the best teams I've ever played. It's one of the best teams that's ever been assembled. And then they added Kevin Durant. So what does that do to him? It even makes him even more dangerous and, even more powerful and great. And, and it's just, it's for me as a competitor, it's fun. It's truly fun. And to know when I'm done playing a game of basketball, to know I played against some of the greatest teams I ever played, ever been assembled. And this is one of them.
All right, so the truth is no one's really giving the Cavs a shot in this one. But what do they have to do, CC, just to at least get into the game, be competitive in the game, give them any chance whatsoever, something specific?
The Warriors, they have a tendency sometimes to come out a little bit sluggish. What do they probably, when they lose games or not play well, they turn the ball over. So I expect Cleveland to try to put extended pressure, especially on whoever is throwing the ball. In their offense, they pass the ball. They have so many assists. But if you don't put pressure on the ball, overplay the passing lanes, you have to take a lot of chances. I think 16 to 20 turnovers, if they can force the Warriors into that many turnovers, it gives the Cavs a chance in game #1. And they got to be physical. They got to be able to. That's not a game that the Warriors play. They have one player that can play physical, and that's Draymond Green. But he typically, when you take him to that edge, he can wander over that. So that's what I would try to. I would try to antagonize him, and I would be physical against Durant. I would definitely be extra physical. I don't know if George Hill is capable of doing that against Steph. So that's the way it's got to look. If they're going to win, you're going to see the Warriors have 16 to 20 turnovers. And I don't believe in luck. But you're going to have a game like Houston had, shooting the ball from deep. If those things happen, I could see the Cavs winning game #1, pulling off a huge upset.
Do you think Kevin Love has played well in these playoffs up to this point?
No.
Okay. I figured you were going to say that. He's averaging 13.9 points in these playoffs, and we feel like he's played poorly, right?
Yes.
In his career in the NBA Finals, Kevin Love is averaging 7 points a game, 5 rebounds a game. Why is
the
that?
Warriors bring out the worst in him?
The Warriors bring out the worst in him. So we think he's been playing terribly in these playoffs. He's giving you 14 and 10. His average finals game is half of what we think is terrible. Okay? He's the Cavs' second best player. So and we don't know if he's going to play, but let's assume he's going to play. So how can they win? Tonight is the question. Forget the whole series. Tonight. How can we be on television tomorrow and say, oh my God, do we have a series? First things first, no feel-out game from LeBron. Not possible, not tenable, not doable. They've never beaten the Warriors in a game 1 of the NBA Finals. In the last 2 years, it was a 15-point loss and a 22-point loss. And that was with Kyrie Irving. In fact, all 3, because Kyrie got hurt at the end of game 1 3 years ago. Mm-hmm. So LeBron's got to have a immaculate game. We're talking 40-plus points or a 30-something point triple-double. That is a given for it to be competitive. What else has to happen? In addition to the turnovers, which I think is a very important point, I think the Cavs have to try to slow the game down. You mentioned them running at the right moments, meaning off turnovers, or if LeBron gets a long rebound, get out and go. Mm-hmm. But every other time, do not try to get up and down against these guys. Yes. Do not try to get in the shooting competition with these guys. And I thought Antoine earlier made a good point. LeBron, not only not a feel-out game, 30 to 35 shot attempts. You have 2 days off between every game in this series except for games 3 and 4, so you can overexert yourself to a degree.
How good do they need to be on defense?
Oh, they got to play the type of defense that they haven't seen themselves. That they haven't seen themselves play. And the reason why I don't have a lot of confidence in it, because they are not great individual defenders. And I'm really worried about the matchup that no one's talking about is Klay Thompson versus J.R. Smith. And if you watch how many points Klay scores, how many points J.R. scores. Now, if J.R. could happen to get a stalemate, if he could happen to score the same amount of points as Klay, they do have a path to victory. So that's something I'm watching.
And what's he been averaging?
Well, JR this post
on the road in Boston.
In Boston, he made 6 baskets in 4 games. But the problem, see, here's the thing that why we might see a different Klay Thompson these NBA Finals than in the past. Who was Klay Thompson tasked with guarding in the last 3 NBA Finals? Or 2 of the last?
Kyrie are typically the best offensive player for any team the Warrior faces.
Exactly. And now there's no Kyrie, so Klay can guard JR because you can leave Steph on.
Yeah, and JR's a spot up. He doesn't move around a lot, so Klay, I believe, will have a lot fresher legs. If you look at a guy as an underrated MVP for the Warriors, I would say watch out for Klay because I believe he has the best matchup.
All right, so just real quick, one other thing I think it could be interesting if the Cavs try to do, which is we saw the Warriors fall into this somewhat in games 1 and 2, specifically against Houston, which is if Kevin Durant had a great matchup, if Kevin Durant had an undersized guy on him, then they would just dump it to him, let Kevin Durant go to work.
Okay.
And so I would try to do a couple things. If Love is able to play, I would consider starting Love, not putting him on Durant. Hold on. I would put him on Kevon Looney and say, look, we're not even playing a center. You want to dump it down to Looney? Let him take advantage of that matchup? Go ahead. And I would consider having JR at times guard KD. And say, you know what? If you want KD to just ruin us with mid-range shots and score 40 points, because we've seen the Warriors lose games where KD is unbelievable from the mid-range. I've never seen them lose a game where Steph and Klay are
You're trying to bait them into not moving the ball.
Exactly.
I'm going to give you what you think is something and realize that it's going to stop the motion of the offense.
Exactly right.
Yeah.
Here's your mismatch. We're giving you the mismatch. Don't you want to take the mismatch? You got to do. They're almost parlor tricks, and it might sound foolish for an NBA Finals game, but when you're at such a talent deficit, I think you got no choice.
All right, so let's talk about who the star is going to be out of here. Who do you both think is going to be the Finals MVP coming out of this series?
People should know, by the way, KD's the Vegas favorite at -150, Steph's at +160, LeBron +650, and then Klay is at +1,500.
I believe this is hard not to do as far as KD, man, really wants to be the best player in the world. Now, KD wants to win, but he wants to play better than LeBron, and he wants that MVP.
Yeah, he does.
All right? He hadn't been regular season MVP in a long time. Last year, that did a lot for him. Steph has never been Finals MVP, so I think he got a little chip on his shoulder. This could be his, because he's got a great matchup in this series.
And
But
you mentioned Clay because he doesn't have to worry about the defense.
Okay, pick one.
Clay is the underdog. I'm going with Clay. I believe Clay has a better chance because J.R. guarding him. I believe he can go off.
All right, so what's interesting is LeBron is plus 650 to win MVP. The Cavs are plus 650 to win the series. So they're basically saying if the Cavs win the series, LeBron's the MVP. I actually think there's a better chance LeBron wins MVP of the series than the Cavs win the series. Like, I think there is an outside chance. He wouldn't be my pick. But I think
they have to go at least 6 games.
Mm-hmm. So what would that do for you? What would that, if LeBron doesn't get a ring, but he wins a Finals MVP, what would that do for you?
Oh, okay. I gave him 2 championships in Miami. That's real math. That's Middletown, Ohio.
What?
All right, Ohio State math. Then he went to Cleveland, the promise, wrote the letter, fulfilled the promise. That's the prophecy. I got to give him 2 for going back to the crib. So that's 2 in Miami, 2 right now.
He's going to have like 9.
Finals MVP, I got to give him at least 2 more.
Oh, and the logo?
Yeah, you got to change the logo. Jerry West, you got to go. LeBron, put him on there. We're going to give him some smoke on his hair and everything so the kids don't know.
So Jerry West, who is the logo, is the only guy to ever win a Finals MVP in a losing effort. So if LeBron wins a Finals MVP in a losing effort,
We got to go.